fi jógee ak tey déggoo wuñ waaye li signé ak luñ signé wut ñu mel ni dañ bëggoon pour ñu am peaceful ñu resolve problème bi peaceful loolu lañ bëggoon loolu am na dañ bëggoon mu génn dëkk bi bëggoon mënuñoo garantie sécurité am si dëkk bi loolu am na yeneen waxtaan yi dina continuer resolution moo amoon rek waaye agreement amut so loolu waxtaan yi dina continuer.
That question, I think, we need to elaborate on that question. The question was, has Mr. Barrow, the current president, His Excellency Adama Barrow, has he been in touch with Jammeh since Jammeh left? And his answer to that, I don't blame him, simply because I don't think Mr. Barrow is looking forward to speaking to Jammeh. And also the journalist's question was, what were the resolutions and has anything been finalized with Mr. Jammeh? And Mr. Barrow's answer to that was simply that there was a resolution for Jammeh's exit, but there was no such arrangements to how the remaining of Jammeh's crimes or the issues Jammeh has been involved with within the Gambia has not been resolved. So there's no kind of amnesty or full amnesty given to Jammeh per se, if I can understand Mr. Barrow's answer well. It means there's no definite resolution. The resolution was to have a peaceful transition and for Jammeh to leave the country. And the reason for Jammeh leaving the country or Jammeh being advised to leave the country was simply because the current government cannot assure or cannot guarantee Jammeh's security. And also, I think we have to put this in plain English. It means also Jammeh could have meddled with the security situation in the Gambia. Jammeh being around after stepping down as president within the Gambia, I don't think any Gambian or any Senegambian in their right mind would allow Jammeh to stay. So as Mr. Barrow mentioned there, Jammeh was advised to leave the country, and I think that was part of the resolution for Jammeh to leave the country. But as he left the country, I think the legal prosecutions or the legal cases or petitions filed against Jammeh would still go ahead, or either from governments or individuals or businesses or private bodies. People will still follow their cases or any petition they might have against Jammeh.
Assalamu alaikum. Abdou Cissé Dakaractu.com. Man aussi xam naa damay topp ci sama tànku mag ci olof lañ bëgg parce que suñuy lecteur dañuy bëgg di gis olof. Li ma lay laaj benn bi mu ngi jëm ci nomination bi nga def Fatoumata Tamba Jang. Ñu bari dañ ne da nga ko fal te peut-être defoo gëstu bi war. Nee nañ moom dafa dépassé âge bi ñu laaj pour nekk vice-présidente. ñu lay laaj sa xalaat ci loolu beneen bi dañu ne fi nga fi wuutu mu Yaya Jammeh ñu bëri dañu wax ni dafa yóbbaale ci keesu nguur gi alal ju bëri am na sax ñu wax 11 millions de dollars ñu bëgg a xam yow lan nga mën a tontu ci loolu ñu ngi lay jaajëfal.
Vice président bu ma nommé am nañ gom-gom ne si loi lañ ko wéer ñu nga xam ne tam joxe nañ si seen yeneen xalaat foog nga génne ay dalil yu wér nekku ne dangay toog rek nga wax te xam naa ne dinañ wane ay kayit yu wane ay jam loolu dina xew pour nit ñi xam sa beneen question bi loolu mënuñ see wax foog ñu waxtaan ak ñu nga xam ne ñoo amee bunti yooyu bunti xaalis bi su ñu joxee kayit yu leer si la ñoo mën a wax si loolu.
That question was around the age of Fatoumata Tambajang. According to the constitution of the Gambia, anybody above the age of, I think it's 55, cannot be elected as, I don't know, president or vice president, all those laws were introduced, all those reforms around the constitutions were made by Yahya Jammeh. So I don't think personally what Mr. Barrow's answer to that should have been was that age restriction was unconstitutional. Jammeh came in and just put those reforms in place simply to penalize people like Hussein Dabo, people like Khalifa Saleh. Basically, let's look at America. The current president, the current Hitler in America is over 70. Donald Trump is 70 years old. So, and all presidents in the United States, except Obama, who was among the youngest, they were all above the age of 60. I don't see any relevance in age or age discrimination as a leader, because the older you are, I think the more experience you have. So that law is a bogus law. To me, Mr. Barrow's answer there should have been that law was unconstitutional. It's one man who was below that age that imposed that law and forced it into the cabinet and the House of Parliament. So therefore, that law is an constitutional law. Therefore, that law should even be scrapped. Anyway, yeah, Maghrib in London.
Mr. President, my name is Alaji Mane. I work with the Standard newspaper. So my question is, it could be recalled that you established a think tank to identify qualified Gambians to fill vacancies in your administration. Who are these thinkers, sir? Thank you.
Very good question. Who are they? What qualification have they got?
Report on that as of now. For sure, by Monday I'll be in office, or Tuesday. If I get the report, that's the time you can give your names. But as of now, I didn't get any report on that.
That question was, Mr. Barrow and the coalition team have put a place, think tank, troubleshooters, people, intellectuals, people with the know-how, in place to kind of look at all the issues the Gambian government, the new Gambian government is facing, and the obstacles, any issues, any problems. But as the journalist said there, he wanted to know the names of those people. Who are those, the members of that think tank? Who are they? So as Mr. Barrow is not savvy to my understanding to kind of give the names of those people and who are those people, because we need to know, and I think is must know that those people in charge of filling back or recruitment of the new government, who they select, we need to know their background, we need to know their not their qualifications, but how qualified are they and what kind of criteria they are using currently to select the new government. But as you know, Mr. Barrow is a little bit economical, not with the truth, but with some of the questions. He's not kind of, to me, to my opinion, he's not giving a full answer to some of these questions.
Good morning, Mr. President. My name's Mamadou Idrissa Ndiaye, a journalist and a blogger with the Mansabanko News Online. Okay, my question is, what are your plans for the children of the Gambia? And is your government ready to establish Ministry for Children Affairs that will provide quality education, protection of children against all forms of abuse and exploitation? And in addition to that also, a Human Rights Commission draft is already in place. So is your government going to implement that?
I think there is a ministry responsible for youth. And when we said youth, I think that will cover all that. We want this election on the platform of democracy. And we want to make sure we establish democracy in this country, the rule of law. That will be the order of the day. I think that will help us to solve all those human rights problems that people have been talking about.
Yeah, that question was the youths. The youths of the country are facing a dilemma, i.e. the back way. That's what the journalist was trying to say. They're facing lots of dilemma. Unemployment, which is pushing them to take the back way to search for better lives. And also child mortality, child undernourishment, child deprivation, child abuse. That's what that journalist was trying to say, but Mr. Barrow is kind of not giving too much away, or not saying too much, or responding to the questions, in a kind of broader way. But what this journalist is trying to say is Mr. Barrow's government willing to face up or set up an inquiry body into the welfare of the Gambian children or of the Gambian child. That's what the journalist is trying to say. But as Mr. Barrow is trying to always stress on the democratization of the government, and I can understand that, which it makes sense. If the government is democratized, and the rule of law and the fairness in ruling, the fairness in all ministries, that should bring about justice for the child, justice for the children, and protection for the children. And I think that's what Mr. Barrow is trying to say. If all these bodies or the cabinet is set up, Ministry of the Child or Ministry of Youth, hopefully they will be looking after. And also he's saying that there will be creation of employment, i.e. manufacturing or making or producing production, i.e. making juices, by local people, fisheries, all those industries should be reviewed and empowered, so the Gambian child doesn't need to go through the back way, or the Gambian child doesn't have to go to bed without food. So that's what we have to face these days, to make sure every single ministry, do their best to make sure they meet and achieve all their targets and benefit the country. And hopefully this new government will do only that.
Good morning, Mr. President. This is Carly with the Associated Press. Can you tell us what you foresee as Gambia's greatest challenges moving forward and how your administration plans to address those?
The greatest challenge is there was a government here for 22 years. 22 years is a long time. And we were able to change the government after 22 years. So obviously, there will be a lot of challenges to look at all the system and make a complete overhaul. I think that is a big challenge to my new government.
Well, yes, lots of challenges, Mr. Barrow, lots of challenges. Your government is full of challenges, man. You got lots of challenges. You have challenges, economical challenge, diplomatic challenge, security challenge, international challenge, local challenge. You have all sorts of challenges. So your government needs to be ready. Your government needs to be robust. Your government needs to be proactive, because you got challenges from the previous government. And if I were you and your government, I will stop mentioning the 22 years and get on with the job. Why? Because Jammeh was always quoting Jawara's 31 years or Jawara's 30 years or 29 years. That's irrelevant. What's gone and done and past, and is past is past. Let's just focus on the future. Let's focus on the present and make plans for the future. That's what we should be doing right about now. And that's what I think the coalition government should be thinking, to try and put in place to start work ASAP and concentrate on their achievement, not the failures of the previous government.
My question is with regards to the former government, some of the abuses that have happened during the past regime. Each time your government speaks on this, all the coalition stakeholders emphasizes reconciliation, truth, But there are people who